Bishop Wayne Malcolm, the Business Bishop. Coming to you each week with coaching tips packed with spiritual intelligence for smart entrepreneurs. Bishop Wayne is a Christian leader and a business development coach who specializes in blessed ways to do business in the modern world. He claims that business is a spiritual game and a mind sport for smart entrepreneurs, and that those who win the inner game have a strategic advantage over those who don't. There are blessed ways to do business and bad ways to do business. In this podcast, Bishop Wayne shares the blessed principles and practices that deliver the best outcomes for enlightened entrepreneurs. Are you ready? Then let's go in.
Hey, good people. God bless you. God bless you. Greetings and greetings. This is Bishop Wayne Malcolm, the Business Bishop, coming to you live and direct. Always excited and delighted to be a part of your life and legacy through this ministry. Congratulations for those of you who are coming in. And, I'm going to encourage you to make this somewhat interactive and just put your comments in the chat box. Hey, Thompson, great to see you. Great to see you. So come on in. I'm not going to keep you long. It's Tuesday night. It's Blessed Business Coaching, and I'm not going to keep you long. Karen, bless you so very much. Great to see you. All right. So, we only give about half hour to the Tuesday coaching tips. So I'm going to dive right in right now. And if you're watching me on YouTube, hey, Ronald, hey, Sharon, if you're watching me on YouTube, then please do subscribe to the platform, right? Because we're uploading new content 3 times a week. So I want you to go ahead and subscribe to the platform. And of course, click the bell for notifications. And if you like tonight's class, then please click like, right? Click like, because that really, really does help us move it along. Great to see you guys. Great to see you guys coming in. Congratulations, welcome, and welcome. So here goes. Right, so tonight I want to talk about the business strategy secret, and it's the root cause of a crisis in business. So whenever a business goes into crisis, let's say it stagnates, or it starts failing, it starts collapsing, whatever happens, typically what people do is they try to treat the symptom, right? So because they assume that the symptom is the problem. So the symptom could be that we're running out of cash. The symptom can be that there are problems with the team. A symptom can be we're not generating enough sales. There could be issues with marketing. And we think of these things as the problem. So we go about treating the symptom. And of course, if you think that the symptom is the problem, you'll only ever treat the symptom. But, and in the process, you leave the root cause undetected, undiagnosed, and untreated. So I want to get to the root. I want to get to the heart, all right, of what's really happening with a business. And I'm just going to reveal it in this little presentation, the business strategy secret. Now, I'm going to be going at about 95 miles an hour, so you might miss some stuff. So I got some really good news for you, is that I've kind of written all of this into a quick read, 20-page totally free report that you can download like now, okay? And you simply go to businessstrategysecret.com. That's businessstrategysecret.com, and you can download my report, little ebook style report, and it will kind of break down in detail, I guess, some of the things I'm going to skim over tonight. So look at this. Let's look at this statement right here. There are many reasons why a business fails. Really? I don't think so. I think there's only one root reason why a business fails. So that's controversial to start with, because if you were to Google, reasons why businesses fail, okay, it will start to list this kind of long list, and it will, say, I guess right at the top, it's, the business starts running out of money, right? And then for some, it's compliance issues and regulation traps that make it impossible to compete or to keep going. Sometimes they'll say, well, it was the team, or just rising costs, or not enough customers, or I'm in the wrong industry, or I can't compete with the big guys. All right. And these become the typical reasons that entrepreneurs offer for why the business is failing. However, all of these are symptoms of a problem and not the problem itself. Yeah, I said it. Running out of money, compliance issues, wrong team, rising costs, not enough customers, wrong industry, not being able to compete with big guys in the. They're all symptoms of the problem. They are not the problem itself. The biggest problem is that if you blame the symptoms, you'll only ever treat the symptoms while leaving the real disease undiagnosed and untreated. Unfortunately, too many business owners are busy treating the symptoms of a dying business and not the true cause of its demise or stagnation. Now, how many of you will feel like joining me tonight was worthwhile if I could just go right ahead and diagnose the root cause? Because see, if you get a sense of what the root cause is, then it saves you lots of time and money and frustration treating symptoms only to find the symptoms reoccur every 6 months, every year, every 2 years. The same thing reoccurs over and over again. Instead, you can concentrate your energy on actually addressing the root cause of the problem so that the symptoms never come back. So if we're going to get to the root cause, we need to learn a lesson from God. I think it's important that we learn a great lesson from God. And why do I think it's important that we learn from God? Because we are the image and the likeness of God. We were made in his image and his likeness. And whatever God tells us and shows us about himself, he's indirectly telling us and showing us about ourself. So that whatever strategies God uses to materialize his own idea, his imagination, his intention, then he wants us to use the same strategies so that we can get the same results. So here goes. You will note from Genesis 1 that God built his business in stages called days. Yeah, I said it. God built his business. This universe, this world, it is God's enterprise. The kingdom of God is the enterprise of God. And what God built was his own business. And when Jesus said, I must be about my Father's business, he made it very clear that his Father is an entrepreneur. His Father is a businessman. And we see God building his business in Genesis chapter 1, and he builds it in stages that are called days, right? Days. So these creative days were the stages and the phases in the creative process. So when God is building his business, he builds it in stages and phases that are creative days, and they are part of the creative process. Now, the fact is that God could have made everything in one day with one word. However, he chose to do it in stages. He would then review each stage and say it is good before moving on to the next stage. And I think that is an important lesson to learn from God himself. That if God, who could have built his enterprise in one day with one word, instead chose to build it in stages and phases called creative days, and then to pause to review each day to conclude that it was good before moving on to the next stage, then that's a lesson we should all learn from God. That if you're going to build a business, you don't just have an entrepreneurial seizure, right, where you're just mad at your boss and you say, right, I've had enough, I'm going to do this for myself, and you just kind of run out into the dark, hoping to start making money within the first few days, weeks, or months. You don't do that. You become very intentional, you become very strategic, and you build your business in stages as part of a creative process. And you refuse to move on to the next stage until the first stage is complete, till you can review that stage and say, It is good. It is good. Now we can move on to the next stage in the creative process. So, what was stage one in God's creative process? So, we know what stage one was. God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. And God divided the light from the darkness, and the light he called day, and the night and the darkness he called night. And so let there be light was the first order of creation and was the first stage in the creative process. And what we want to do is learn from our Father. If we're going to be about our Father's business, if we are going to manifest the image and likeness of God, then we're going to build our enterprise in stages and phases. And stage one is always going to be the light stage. The light stage. So this means that the first stage in the creative process always involves getting light, right? Turning on the light. All right. And that means getting credible, accurate, and reliable information about the opportunity itself. That is always the first divine stage in the creative process. Let there be light. Let me get some credible information, some accurate information, some reliable information about this opportunity so that I'm not operating in darkness. I am not shooting in the dark. I am not relying on guesswork. I'm not hoping for the best. I'm not practicing wishful thinking, but I'm moving forward with confidence, with intention, because I have taken the time to let there be light. Woo! Oh my word! I feel like going to my sound effects right now, but the sound effects are just in me right now, so they'll just come out of me. Woo! We call this market research. Market research, and it involves crunching the numbers and doing the maths to determine whether or not the opportunity is credible, if it's sustainable, and if it's profitable. And when I say credible, I mean, is this a real opportunity? Like are there people in the world searching for products and services in this particular field? Are there other companies and organizations providing similar services to people and doing well? Is this credible? Number two, is it sustainable? Like, are we going to be able to stay in business for a while? And is this profitable? Is this gonna give us enough return on our time and money invested to justify the time and the money invested? So I'm going to summarize these business secrets from the Genesis, particularly from Genesis 1, as follows. Number one, you should never be shooting in the dark or guessing away your life and your livelihood. I need to say that again. You should never be shooting in the dark or guessing away your life and livelihood, particularly when it comes to building an enterprise. You should know what you're facing with some degree of clarity about what, why, and how you're going to exploit your opportunity. So that's the first secret from the Genesis. Don't shoot in the dark. Let there be light. Number two, you'll never grow the business until you first know the business. Woo! I wish I had a sound effect right there. You'll never grow the business until you first know the business. Only when you know the business landscape, complete with its challenges, threats, and opportunities, can you develop a business strategy that factors in all the likely outcomes, right? So in other words, don't just go into business, right? Know into business. I wish I had some help. Don't just go into business, know into business. Take out some time to know your business, the landscape, its challenges, its threats, its opportunities, because that's a glorious secret in the Genesis. Number three, you must plan your work and then work your plan. However, if the plan is not based on light, then you'll stumble in the dark. So there's always got to be a planning stage, always got to be a planning phase when it comes to building a business, creating an enterprise. The planning stage is a critical stage. It's the first stage. It was the first stage for God. It must be the first stage for you. And so I'm going to lay the axe to the root of the tree right now. We're not going to treat symptoms. We're not going to deal with the fruit of a problem. We're going to lay the axe to the root of the tree right now. Are you ready? Yes, I'm ready. Strategy is the root cause of every other business effect. Wow and wow. I'm going to say it again. Strategy is the root cause of every other business effect. So we live in a universe that is governed by the law of causality. That means that for every effect, there is a definite cause. Okay? And if you can discover the cause of a particular effect, then you can use that cause to create the same effect over and over again. That's the basis of science. That's the laws of physics. That's the nature of the universe in which we live. It is governed by cause and effect. And when it comes to every known business effect, strategy is the root cause. We know, for example, from military history, that battles are won or lost on the strength of a strategy and not on the size of the army. Wow and wow. Yes, so a small army with inferior weapons can defeat a big army with superior weapons based on the superiority of their strategy. We saw this in the Bible. We saw Gideon with 300 men defeat a mighty army, a host numbering in the tens of thousands. We saw that victory in the book of Judges, the story of Gideon, and the root was his strategy. God gave him a strategy, and by his strategy, he was able to overcome against all the odds. We also know that in competitive sports, the victory belongs to the team that employs a superior strategy. Likewise, businesses succeed or fail on the strength of a strategy and not on the size of the budget. So a lot of people saying, if we just had more money, if you could throw more money at this business, we could make it work. No and no. You can throw money at the business and the money disappear and you have nothing to show for it. What actually makes the business successful is the strength of your strategy. What makes the business fail is a weakness in your strategy. Most business failure is due to a strategic error that can be traced back to assumptions, guesswork, and wishful thinking on the part of the entrepreneur. Wow and wow. That's the axe. I'm laying the axe to the root of the tree. And I know that I'm oversimplifying things, but I'm deliberately oversimplifying it so that it becomes simple for us to realize that no matter how small you are, no matter how small your budget is, no matter how alone you feel in the entrepreneurial journey, if you have a God strategy, you can compete with the big boys. You can claim your share of the market. You can create a profit-making machine, and you can achieve your business goals and live out your business dreams just on the strength of your strategy. But if your strategy is weak and you start making strategic errors, then no matter how much money you have in the bank, no matter how big your brand, the business is going to begin to fail. So what is your business strategy? What is your business strategy? Well, strategy is a military term that describes your battle plan. Your battle plan. But in business, it simply means how you will achieve your business goals without violating your business values. Woo and wow. I think I'm going to go over to my sound effects in a moment because that was an applaud moment. Your strategy is exactly how you're going to achieve your business goals without violating your business values. So you literally have to sit down and think, okay, what are my business goals and how am I going to achieve them? What are my business goals and how am I going to achieve them? And how am I going to achieve them without violating my business values? Right? How am I going to achieve them without compromising my integrity? How am I going to achieve them without misleading or deceiving customers and clients? How am I going to achieve them whilst upholding the values that I stand for? Now, the following is a guide to an effective business strategy that will save you years of disappointment, frustration, and lost time. But I said all of that to say this, that when I'm going to take you through this little guide, right? I'm going to take you through it very fast. I'm going to take you through this little guide. It's what I'm going to challenge you to do at stage one. Like, do this at stage one. Because if you don't do it at stage one, you're going to be forced to do it at a later stage, and then you have to undo some things and redo some things, all because you didn't take out the time to do this at stage one. And if you're already advanced along the entrepreneurial journey, then pause, take out a weekend, take out a few days to go through some strategic exercises to look at your strategy and look at how you can achieve your business goals. Can I hear an amen from somebody? All right, I couldn't resist that. So, if your strategy is how you will achieve your business goals, then the starting point of a business strategy is your business goals. Hey, your business goals. So I'm going to give you 7 parts to a great business strategy. I could give you more parts, but I've kind of written this out for you. And if you missed me at the beginning, I've written something for you. It's completely free. I'm going to show you where to download it, how to download it before we finish tonight. But here are the 7 parts to a great business strategy, okay? So even if I go fast, don't worry about that, because I'm going to show you how you can download this ebook, and you can just read it and you can understand it. It's yours. It's a gift. So here goes. 7 parts of a great business strategy. Number 1, set clear business goals. Woo and wow. Set clear business goals. Now, what do I mean by business goals? I mean that when you go into business, you go into business for a reason. There's a reason why you say, I'm going to build a business. I'm going to create an enterprise. I'm going to transition from employee to entrepreneur. There's reasons, right? And it's typically 4. It's typically 4, so you can make a note of this. You're either doing it to create a passive income that funds your lifestyle, right? A passive income to fund your lifestyle. Number 2, you are building it for a big payday. These are people that'll work for 5 years, even 10 years on a business with a view to selling it from millions and maybe billions to a big private equity or some big company in that field. You're going to build it to sell it. So your goal is a big payday. Number 3, some people build it as part of a retirement plan, okay? You are aware that the years will come when you cannot work, you're not as sharp, you don't have the physical energy, you want to rest, you want to spend time with the people you love, you want to travel the world, and you don't want to have to worry about your lifestyle and income, and so you're building as part of a retirement plan. That's your goal. 4th goal is that you may be building a legacy business, something that's going to stay in your family for generations to come. These are your business goals. But whatever you do, when you start the business, be clear about your business goals. Why? Because each goal requires a different strategy. All right. If you're building for passive income, there's a strategy for that. If you're building for a big payday, there's a slightly different strategy for that. If you're building for retirement, there's a strategy for that. If you're building for legacy, there is a slightly different strategy for that. So set clear business goals. Know why you're going into business in the first place. Not just what you're going to give to the business, but what the business is going to give back to you. Wish I had some help in here. Number 2, clarify your big business idea. Okay, so now you have a business goal. What you need is a business idea, a big idea, not a small idea. Why do I say a big idea? Because small ideas are not good ideas. You need a big business idea to unlock the creative genius and the energy that's within you. You need a big business idea. Now, if you're going to have where do you get a big business idea from? Well, start with your own professional experience, okay? Because that can give you some great ideas. Start with your existing skill set. That can give you some great business ideas. Start with your pain, the things that have hurt you in life, things you wish were available to you. That could be the start of a big business idea. Start but start by looking at yourself, analyzing your own life, looking at people around you, looking at what's wrong in society, in your community, to see if you can create something that offers real value to people, that can really change their lives, really add value to their lives, really improve their quality of life. Clarify your big business idea. That means write it out. Write it out on paper. This is my business idea. This is what I'm going to do in business. I'm going to sell these products, or I'm going to sell these services, and this is what I'm going to do. That's your big business idea. But number 3, you need to qualify your business idea. What? Qualify your business idea. In other words, just because you have a big idea that has gripped your imagination and has filled you with excitement and enthusiasm doesn't mean that it's a credible idea, doesn't mean it's sustainable, and doesn't mean it's profitable. So now you want to do the market research to find competitors who are already in a similar sort of business, to see if it's working for them. You want to do some searches. You want to employ some tools to figure out if, in fact, there are millions of people in the world looking for the kinds of products and services that you want to make available. Number 4, you need to develop your value ladder. Your value ladder is simply the things you're going to sell. What exactly are you going to sell? What are you going to sell at a lower price point? What are you going to sell at a higher price point? What are you going to be actually selling? So you want to develop your value ladder. And then you want to design a marketing plan, which is how you're going to get the attention of people, and how you're going to make offers to them, and how you're going to fulfill those offers to them. That's all part of something called a marketing plan. Not enough to have a marketing plan. In fact, it's not enough to have clear goals, a big idea that's a credible idea with great products and services, with a great marketing plan, because you have to, number 6, crunch the numbers. Crunch the numbers means you need to count the cost. Like, what are my startup costs going to be? What's it going to cost me to get started? And what's it going to cost me to keep on running until I start making money, until I break even, right? Until the business is generating more in sales than it's taking from me in running costs. I need to crunch those numbers. That's called a cash flow forecast. So you want to do that. And then you want to document the whole thing into a plan, a business plan, or a business strategy. And if your strategy is good enough, you're no longer shooting in the dark. You have a great idea. It's a credible idea. You've done the market research. You know who you're targeting. You know that they really want this. You've perfected your message. You're bringing your message to them. You're bringing your services to them. And you pretty much know what it's going to cost. So when you're raising seed capital, you raise the right amount instead of the wrong amount. Now, that was quick, right? Because I'm committed to just lock this off at 30 minutes, because I start my actual coaching program with my Head Start clients and students at 8:30. So that's why I have to run. However, I've done something for you. It's right here. If you want to understand the business strategy secret in more detail and kind of flesh it out, think it out, understand it, go to businessstrategysecret.com and download my quick read 20-page free report. It's, there's no cost, nothing like that. It's not selling anything to you. Just read it, absorb it. It could save you years of frustration. It could save you years of disappointment. It could save you years of wasted time and energy if you'll just, at the very first stage of your business, let there be light. God richly bless you. I'm going to leave this up on the screen for a few minutes, and then I'll be gone. How many of you are interested in designing your future? How many are interested in having your future designed for you by somebody else? These are the choices, quite plain and simple. You either design your own future or someone else designs it for you. You either live it by design or you live it by default. If you either design your life or it gets designed for you, and the default setting for life is repetition. Repetition. What that means is, if you don't design your future, you are doomed to repeat a cycle and a circle. You are always going to come back to square one, where I've been here before. And you are going to experience the pain of having made absolutely no progress. Making the same resolutions